Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you for checking this video out. This is my first video of the new year. It is January 5th, 2021. I just wanted to spend just a few minutes. I just need a few minutes of your time to do a little reflecting on the past and the present and looking forward to the future. Tell you a little bit about my resolutions, my plans for these videos, which are again changing. So let me just first take a look back at 2020. What else can I say? What specific little moments from the year can I remember? I think pretty much everything was forgettable, with the exception, of course, of COVID and the election. Those were the two big events of the year. COVID is still following us into the new year, but we got another, 360 days to go, so I'm hoping that we will have it licked sometime in the earlier part of this year. One thing that we have that we only got late in the year last year was a vaccine, two of them. One is from, I believe, Moderna, and the other one's Pfizer. I had someone that sent me some conspiracy theories regarding Moderna. I don't want to get into any of that now. I do want to keep things light. I don't foresee myself taking the vaccine. I wouldn't say I'm an anti-vaxxer, but I do want to see how things go. I want everyone around me to be the guinea pig, and if things go well, maybe I'll take it later on down the line. My only concern is, or I should say my main concern, is my mother. Of all people, I don't want to make anyone sick, but of all people, I don't want to make my mom sick. If I was vaccinated, that could be a good thing. She herself is not interested because she says she has various allergies and she doesn't know how she may react to a vaccination. But anyway, the numbers of people being infected are on the rise, and I think that is to be expected because people are mingling. It's what people do over the holidays, and people have let down their guard a little bit because they're just so worn out. They have COVID fatigue, and people just want to get back to their families, especially over the holidays. So there's been some traveling, and I think a lot of people, and I probably said this in prior videos, but I think people are, their masks is more of a crutch than it ought to be. We really need to be social distancing. I believe that we pick up the virus by touching things and then touching our faces. We all touch the same things throughout our lives. We all touch doorknobs because we need to turn them to get into other rooms. The rooms that we go into are probably the rooms that other people want to go to. So we all touch the same things. And I think that the virus moves around that way just as much, if not more, than through the air. And certainly masks are a barrier. It's going to prevent us from getting the germ, perhaps, but I think it's very little protection, so no harm in wearing it. But anyway, COVID, way too much has been said already about it by me in the past. I'm doing it again. So the other big event this year was the election. I talked about it in November. I talked about it again in December. And when I talked about it in, actually I didn't talk about it in December. I talked about it in November, after, towards the end of the month, after we had all voted, and I said I was shocked at how things turned out, and I was disillusioned with what I believe the ultimate outcome was going to be. And I still believe that the Biden train is nonstop and just inches away from its final stop, which is the White House. Now, tomorrow there are senators and there are Congress people who are going to object to the vote certification in the swing states where there has been allegations of fraud, and it's unlikely to go anywhere because it will stop the vote, the counting of those electoral votes long enough to have a debate about it. But I don't think the debate is going to ultimately sway the other Congress people and senators. They're determined to affirm the votes that have been certified, and that will be the end of that. So really, it's been a long shot all along, and you know, like I said, I think the fact that there's going to be objections tomorrow is a good thing. You know, hopefully there will be some proof put forward that I don't know. It's going to sway some votes, but like I said, I don't think it's going to change the outcome, and that's unfortunate. But I'm glad they're taking a look at it. It's better than nothing. It's more than I expected. Probably when I last talked about this, and I saw that all the court cases were being dismissed for really procedural reasons, more so than than a dismissal based on the merits. It's unfortunate. Nothing was heard. I think there was a court case where the state of Texas and many other states joined to sue some of these swing states. That went nowhere. I don't know if I talked before or after, or if I even knew about it the last time I talked to you guys, but it wasn't heard. It was said that there was no standing, and that's why it wasn't going to be heard. I guess the rationale was that one state had no say over how another state conducts its elections, and I kind of predicted that. So anyway, the courts are not going to get involved. So it's really up to Congress now, and based on what happens there, it may get kicked back to the state legislatures, and then the president may have a good chance there if he could get there. And I don't understand. I don't recall the process how it would go from Congress to the state legislatures. So I'm not even going to try to get into it. Hopefully, I talked about it last time. So those are the two things in 2020 that were big, that remained unresolved in 2021. Inauguration Day, January 20th. I foresee us knowing who our president is going to be. I believe it's likely to be Joe Biden, and we'll be back to talk about it in a future video. But I do also want to talk about the future in terms of what the videos are going to be like, because in the past I've discussed just all kinds of videos, all right, and I've noticed that there are a lot of YouTubers, people who upload videos who have a niche. They have a following based on a certain focus of subject matter, and I've never done that. However, I do have plans to start focusing on a particular subject, and I'm going to get to that in a moment. Before I go there, I did want to talk about resolutions real briefly, real quickly. Like I said, it's January 5th. I haven't started my resolutions, but I have given some thought to what they're going to be. It's really only one. you know, I didn't promise myself that I would start it on January 1st, only endeavored to engage in it at some point this year, and I plan on doing it this month, and it's not a permanent thing, it's just a temporary thing. By the way, it's just, like I said, it's January 5th, it's the last day that we have our trees up traditionally. Tomorrow is All Kings Day, and that's the day that we all drag our trees out to the curb. Those of us with real trees, I pack mine up in a box and shove it under the bed or in a closet. But I usually, and I will do it again this year, I usually keep my tree dim. I don't turn it on anymore, but I leave it up until the 11th because my birthday is on the 10th. So I leave it not dim, I just leave it turned off after, you know, on All Kings Day up until the day of my birthday, the 10th, and then I turn it on because I'm feeling in a festive mood and I want the tree to join me for my birthday. So in terms of resolutions, you know, I think I've said this before, but we all tend to gravitate towards the news sources that reflect our worldview, right? So I want to change that this year. I want to be, you know, I'm pretty confident in what my beliefs are, but I think it's important that I hear other points of view. I'm very open to hearing other points of view, ones that are very different than mine, those that are opposed to mine. But it's hard to talk to people because I'm willing to listen, but they're usually not willing to listen. You know, I have somewhat of a conservative point of view, very center-right, and liberals are not good at listening. They are willing to talk, and you got to accept what they say, or keep your mouth shut, one or the other, because if you don't agree, they can be pretty hostile. I had a friend today who was on Facebook saying that we don't have the president to thank for the stimulus checks that people are getting. People are getting $600, and people are, I guess, and I guess his Facebook friends are thanking the president for that. And I said, well, look, because he's saying that it's the Democratic House that we have to thank for it. And I said, look, this stimulus bill was supposed to be signed into law a long time ago, but Nancy Pelosi, the Democratic House Speaker, held it up because she didn't want the president to get credit for it, because he would take credit for it, and he would do so before the election, and it would help him with his re-election campaign. She didn't want to let that happen. So we had to wait to get this stimulus money so that Donald Trump wouldn't be re-elected. That's what was going on through her mind. So she didn't allow the House to vote on it. So that's what the Democrats did for us. And the president did hold it up for a while because he was trying to get more money for the American people. He didn't think $600 was enough. He feels that the American people have suffered under COVID. A lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of businesses have closed. He thinks $600 isn't a lot, given the fact that there's a lot of pork in this bill that is giveaway money to a lot of foreign countries. And how is that fair? Why should all these countries get all this money and we only get $600? It doesn't seem fair, but he ultimately signed the bill. So I'm getting too far off topic here. My resolution is to start watching a little bit of CNN or MSNBC or something like that, because I want to hear more of the opposing views, even though I hear what they are through conservative voices. I don't want to hear it that way. I want to hear it straight, undiluted from the horse's mouth. So that is one resolution this year. So glad the old year's over. It's been tough. I did wish a December 31st birthday friend a happy birthday, and he said, you want to party? And I'm like, sure. And he says, come on over, we're just going to hang out by the pool, it's going to be warm. And I thought I was just going over to his parents' house, and then as I'm arriving there, he sends me an address. He texts me a different address. I'm like, where is this? And when I show up there, it's like a party. It's like all these neighbors hanging out at somebody's house. There must have been at least a dozen to maybe 24 people. I'm being introduced to people. People are hugging me. They're all nice people, but my God, no one's wearing masks, and strangers are hugging strangers. So that has me a little concerned now. But I'm feeling fine, and I expect I'll be okay. So on to what I want to do in the future in terms of these videos. I think I'm one of those people that are lacking in any type of traditional hobbies. I told you in the past that I have a passion for music. I've told you that I'm a cord cutter, and I did some videos about music, and I did some videos about antennas and stuff like that. But now I want to focus on not just the music I like, but how I collect it and organize it and listen to it. So I'm going to be doing a little mini-series. I'm thinking it's going to be probably about 9 or so recordings about the various sources that I gather music from, and the software that I use to manipulate it, and how I do that. I don't want to give too many details away, but these will be videos that I believe are of interest to people that I guess if they share the passion that I have, I guess you could say they are mediaphiles. People that are really into collecting music or collecting movies and organizing them in a certain way. And I remember as a kid, I used to, for a while, I had a passion for books. I had my own little mini library. I don't know how many books I had, but I would just collect books and books and books. And then I fell in love with music, and I started buying little 7-inch records. We used to call them 45s. Then I started recording music off the radio, and Then I started buying, CDs, records, and then CDs. And then I would take the CDs and I would make what we call playlists now, but I guess the name back then, and I didn't even know it, but the name back then would have been mixtapes, where I would just take all these CDs and gather my favorite songs from all of them, put them on a tape, and distribute these tapes to friends. And then along came the MP3. So things have evolved. And I just want to get really deep into a discussion about not really so much the evolution, but where we're at now, how music is stored and shared and enjoyed. So I hope to start that soon. And then, I don't know, once I'm done with that, then I may go back to just talking about various subjects again. But that is, or I may even interrupt it once in a while to talk about different subjects. I'm not going to make any type of commitment. The only thing that I know for sure is that I won't go back to regularly recording recording. It will be sporadic. It'll be whenever I have something to say, outside, of course, the planned discussions that I plan on having with you about organizing and listening to music or watching videos. So anyway, that's all I have to say this evening. I want to thank you for listening and hopefully agreeing with me. And if you didn't agree with me this time, I don't see why you wouldn't. But check out some of my other videos, and I'm sure that you'll find something to agree with. Because like I said, I talk about all different kinds of things all the time. So thank you and good night.
Thanks for watching. I appreciate your curiosity to hear what I have to say. Whether you agree with it or not, I want you to know I'm always thinking about a variety of issues and sharing them with you. You may not agree with me this time, but next time you will, and vice versa. It is important that you subscribe to my videos because they are the best kept online secret. You may never find them again, and I would like us to remain in touch. That means not only subscribing, but giving a video a thumbs up when you agree and commenting when you don't. I'm also interested in reading and replying to what you think.